If I personally know someone cannot benefit from what I provide, I've turned down people who've come to me for advice because I said to myself, I laid it on the table for you. The way you're answering these questions, I know that I'm going to take, your hard-earned money, and you're probably not going to do anything with it. So I will not sell to you.
Yeah.
But everyone else will. I don't, because I can't live with myself if I sell something to someone and they won't do anything with it. That hurts me. Like, I can't block that out of my head.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think there needs to be a new way of sales where you give them everything, and then now they know how hard it is. They say, I've assessed this for myself. I try to do some of it. Manolis, I can't. There's no way, with all the work that you just showed me that you're going to do, I cannot do what you basically have shown me to do. I want you to help me.
Right. So you're like a trainer.
Kind of.
Yes.
You could say that.
Yeah. Well, we all need training at one point in time, unless you're a natural, and not that many naturals.
No, not at all. But you know what? I wouldn't call myself a trainer per se, because technically they don't need me if they had the time. No matter what, even if you're getting something for free, there's always a trade-off, right?
That's true.
It's either time or money.
Right.
If you have the time, you do it yourself. If you don't, then you have to pay someone to do it.
Correct.
So we have to trade that every day, time or money. So
you've done 30 shows. If you go any faster, you're going to catch up with me on the shows you got out there. That's quite an achievement.
I admire what you do, though.
Yeah.
You've been on here for how many years now?
Since 1995.
My God, you are revolutionary in this business.
Yeah. Well, it's all information. Get the information out there, and similar.
It takes a lot out of you, though. Yeah. I've only done 30, and I'll tell you,
it's tiring.
It's tiring, but it's so worth it because people love you for it.
Yes.
Thank you again, by the way, for having me. I love this.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Could you talk about what you did with your overseas? You actually got an overseas following, not just here in Connecticut, but you're and you mentioned going to the 9 states, but you also have some activities over there. You want to get into that a little bit?
Sure. So I've had people come on my show from Canada, from Greece, from England. I'm talking to Lithuania right now. So this is truly a global.
Do they come here, or do they talk over where they are and they come by way of the internet?
Here's an amazing thing. By way of the internet. So most people don't know what Google Plus is. Google Plus is Google's social network. It's their response to Facebook. So it's either Google or Facebook or Apple. They're leading the world in technology, and Microsoft, but they're kind of falling.
Yeah.
So Google came up with Google Plus, and their unique value in that social network is the ability to do global webinars for free. And because Google also owns YouTube, you can host a live webinar. All you need is an internet connection, a webcam, working audio, and a Google Plus account, and that's all free. You could start a live broadcast like we're doing right now. We have a live broadcast. The moment you click stop broadcast, you could bring anyone in all over the world, it automatically archives directly onto YouTube. They've created a technology that is so incredible and so simple to use that anyone, once they just stop telling themselves they don't know how to do this, once they tell themselves that you just take a half hour or an hour, however long it takes to figure it out, anyone can have a show. And that's the way of the future, internet TV.
Yeah, I witnessed that when you came to the Kiwanis and you taped the show. You taped the meeting as we conversed. It was like an action meeting. We were conversing on the little camera that you had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the technology is there. It's just people don't know about it, and when they do, they immediately say, I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to try. I'm getting overwhelmed.
And it was the size of your hand, or something, if I recall.
Oh, this was a GoPro, the little GoPro. Yeah. That is actually a technology in itself. But like the Google Hangouts, which is actually separate from the GoPro, those things it's completely free. And I've done 30 episodes that I don't need to take a CD, copy it to my computer, and then upload it to YouTube. as soon as the show is done on this social network, Google Plus, I look 2 seconds after I click stop, and I could re-watch what was just recorded right on YouTube on my own channel.
Do you do it on the cloud? Does it go up to the cloud or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Google,
Okay.
Google is a big. Yeah. Google is a
big
cloud.
cloud.
YouTube's a cloud. Like all that storage is immediate. So in other words, I've done that. As far as people who've come to me for help to help them with raising capital with crowdfunding, I do have an international client. It's very interesting. They're out of Australia, and their website is learntoplaymusic.com, and they're trying to go into the ebook business. They used to be traditional books on teaching people how to play music, how to learn how to play it. Now they're doing a virtual thing with ebooks, and they're only in Australia. They're going to run a crowdfunding campaign to expand in the U.S., and that's why they sought me out. And this guy, like, I wish I knew more about Australian,
mannerisms.
Yeah, mannerisms, or even just the history of music, because apparently the guy who owns this company is a pretty big deal. I just watch people react to him, and I'm like, who is this guy? I'd never heard of him, but in Australia he's like a god. So it's kind of cool to like see these weird these
Is it classical music or all types of music?
All types. I mean, but it's focused on instruments. So it's like learn to play the piano, learn to play the ukulele, the banjo, guitar, bass guitar. It's actually a very innovative company, and they're actually giving away free ebooks. So they're the same thing. They're giving it away, and then their people are coming back.
You create it, and they will come, like that baseball game. They put the field in and Field of Dreams. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And you know this better than anyone. When you give, you receive.
Right.
And that's really how the big businesses got their start. They started small, and they gave much greater service than was ever expected of them, and then they built that steady reputation and client base. And that's and this Australian company is no different. They're giving tremendous value. And their hopes is that now that they're doing this, and I've helped them produce their own online show. They have their own show now on YouTube, on Google+. So the hope is the value that they're giving will pay off when they use that to launch their crowdfunding campaign. That's kind of a tactic they'll use to announce, we're now crowdfunding. Would you like to help us expand into the U.S.?
Do you have any other examples you want to share with us at this point in time? I am sure you probably have 12 others, but you can only share limited amounts.
What's actually interesting too is some companies are not even coming to us for help in crowdfunding, because a piece of crowdfunding, as I mentioned, is the social media piece. Crowdfunding websites are coming to us to help them build an audience. So not only do you have entrepreneurs who need help raising capital for their projects, but you have competitors to Kickstarter and Indiegogo who need people to actually use their platform instead of the big ones. Their needs are, how do I compete with these big guys? How do I find people who would use us instead of them? And I will say this, right now crowdfunding is so new that I did an informal video poll with my little camera. 7 out of 8 people back in December of 2013, this was in Starbucks, had never heard of Kickstarter and never heard of crowdfunding. So the vast majority of Main Street America still doesn't know about this.
That was in December.
This was December.
Might have picked up a few since.
Correct. Yeah. So no, you're right. So in other words,
especially that one with the 54,000 for the potato salad. That was all over the Northeast, and I think even in California they heard about that one. But they didn't understand the concept that it was like a little bit of a spoof, and they wanted to see how many people are out there actually watching for unique things. And 54,000 overnight is not a bad deal.
Totally, and as much as some people say it was negative, others say it got crowdfunding out there. It was enough to start a conversation. You might have heard of the Coolest Cooler. Did you hear about that one?
No, I didn't.
This was a cooler that raised $3 million, but the cooler had a blender attached to it. It had all these gadgets. It was like, it was almost like the cooler that Inspector Gadget would create with all those little trinkets. You should look that up, because no major company would ever create something as innovative as that with those little things.
So that was somebody that just created it and then put it online and.
And they raised $3 million. I believe it was over $3 million. And so that person now is going to hire people. He's going to create jobs. He has to manufacture this. So the benefit of crowdfunding in legitimate cases, the potato salad, granted, no one's going to get hired from that, right?
Right.
I mean, maybe a manufacturing plant of potato salad, who knows?
I think there was some comment about he was going to donate it to charity. He said, don't worry about it, because he can't possibly track the people down.
Sure.
But the $3 million, you're creating some American jobs, and that's a priority today.
Absolutely. So as much as there's some things out there that are less than, worthy of backing, there's many others that will create jobs, and that's the biggest thing. It's job creation. That's why crowdfunding, and that's why the laws, the equity crowdfunding laws, the 2012 Jobs Act, that is why the Securities and Exchange Commission cannot bow under the pressure of lobbyists, and I'm guessing they're from banks, because who stands to lose if crowdfunding takes off? Banks are not in the picture anymore. It's
right.
People funding people. But the government is being pressured, Securities and Exchange Commission is being pressured on all ends of the spectrum.
That's why there's only 7 major banks that control most of the activities of that nature.
Yeah.
You want to mention your website for people so that they know where they can go if they want to check you out a little better, or if they want to make contact?
Sure. So, our website is realitycrowdtv.com. If you Google crowdfunding TV, we're the #1 search result on Google, so we've solidified our place. And you could submit a contact form, and we can help. We'd love to just chat with whoever calls or contacts us and educate them on the movement.
Yes, it's all education and training.
Absolutely.
And
the more you know, the better.
Right. And this also goes for operations like the Kiwanis Club and the Rotary Club and people like that may have. They're starting to say we're about out of time here, so I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I want to thank the viewers for tuning in to the Community Forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station, and we'll have another interesting program. Good night for now, and we'll see you then.